Our Toastmaster is Samantha Jamwell. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. As Sarah said, I am Samantha, and I will be your Toastmaster this evening. And welcome to Women Lead Open House. Our theme for today is making a difference, small or big, it doesn't matter. Everyone can make a difference. We have two amazing speakers today, but before we get into all of that, let us go over our functionary roles. I will call upon each role bearer to explain the purpose of their role. Helen, could you please explain the role of General Evaluator?
Thank you, Samantha, Toastmaster of the day. The General Evaluator is the person who evaluates the meeting flow, how well we execute all of our roles, and how well we evaluate each of our speakers today. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you, Helen. Next, Grace, could you please give us the leader profile of the day?
Yes, let me share my screen. Oh, it says it's disabled. Can you enable that?
Enable.
Oh, there it goes. Now it works. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Her father was one of the greatest poets, but her mother, being bitter towards her husband after their promoted her interest in mathematics and logic, hoping to drive her father's dangerous poetic tendencies. Born in 18, Ada Lovelace is considered to be the first author, despite living a century before today's modern computer. In addition to her mathematical talents, Ada showed an interest in combining and analytical talents by designing boats and even flying. After her marriage to the Earl of Lovelace at the age of, she was brought into contact with many well-known scientists of the time. With these contacts, she used them in education. Ada Lovelace is chiefly known for her to British mathematician Charles Babbage's analytical machine, as seen on the screen, which was a general-purpose mechanical computer. As the enchantress of numbers, Ada was first to realize it had applications beyond pure number crunching. With her contribution, she is thought to have made the first known algorithm designed to be carried out by such a machine, and is regarded as one of the first computer programmers. Such science led her to ask questions examining how individuals relate to technology, collaborative tool. Even before the digital computer as we know it invented, Lovelace understood its power and its limitations, as she, quote, the analytical engine has no pretension to originate anything. It can do whatever we know how to in order to perform. It can follow analysis, but it has no power of anticipating relations or truths. Its provenance is to assist us to making available what we are already acquainted with. Sadly, Lovelace's research ended short as she died of cancer at the age of 36. As a female mathematician in the 19th century, she received criticism for her capabilities, along with little recognition of her scientific work, in publication only by her initials. Despite this, she expected a set of computing machines to be more than a single function of engineering, and now has a language written after her name. With both the brains of an artist and mathematician, Ada Lovelace showed us the possibilities of what it can be. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Great, thank you, Grace. I'm not sure if you could stop there. All right, next we have Ramona. Could you please explain the role of AHA counter?
Yes. The purpose of our counter is to know any overused words or filler sounds used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate, such as well, and, but, so just watch out the words you use, and every time you want to say just take a pause. That will prevent you from saying Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Next, Preeta, could you please explain the role of grammarian and give us the word of the day?
Hello, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is welcome, which means to greet hospitably and with courtesy or cordiality, and to accept with pleasure the occurrence or presence of. We welcome our guests to today's Toastmasters meeting. This is how we, an example of using the word welcome. I'll be posting all these things in the chat, so if you like to have a look at it.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you. Lastly, Risa, could you please explain the role of timer?
Yes, I will be timing everyone as they participate in table topics to make sure that you reach 1 minute and don't go over 1 minute, 30 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong, my first time. And I will also be recording the people giving speeches today to make sure that they also hit their goal times and don't go over. And at the end of the meeting, I will give a recap. Thank you.
Thank you, Risa. That concludes our role bearers and their explanations. Next, I will introduce our speakers. Our first speaker today is Liz. Sujin, could you please give the objective of Liz's speech?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Liz's speech is for her innovative planning pathway, feedback and evaluation level 1. And today she will share an overview of how to get involved in politics and government and make a difference in your own community, no matter what your political beliefs are. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sujin. Liz Spicer, politics, not just for office. Politics, not just for office, Liz Spicer.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Politics gets a bad rap these days. Boring, corrupt, ineffective. Lots of people think nothing good comes out of politics and government. I'm here to tell you, change starts with you. You have the power, the ability, and some would say the responsibility to work with and talk to your elected officials. You have the power to affect their decisions and actions, and all you need is your voice. That may sound daunting, but it's easier than you think. My name is Liz Spicer, and I'm telling you, you can make a difference. I've been involved in political clubs and campaigns for about 6 years now, and not only have I contributed, I've had a great time doing it. In 2018, I was involved with the congressional campaign for about 4 months. July through September, I was in and out of the campaign office every weekend. But for the last 5 weeks before the election, for Get Out the Vote, I was there 10 to 12 hours every weekend. And on election day, all day. I met some great people. We talked to a lot of voters, and I got a front row seat to some pretty high profile people at the campaign office events. It was hard work, but it was a blast. And my candidate got elected. It was one of the best experiences of my life, and it could be for you too. Side note, obviously, I have political opinions that not everyone may share, and that's fine. But today is not about my agenda. Today is about providing information and encouragement. I have a one sheet that I'll be able to share after the speech with some resources for getting involved should you want it. The very first thing that you can do to get involved is to vote. Go participate in our democracy. If I tell you one thing today, it is to educate yourself and vote every election up and down the ballot. Next step, if you're interested, is to start getting more involved. Start talking to your representatives. There are several online locations where you can enter in your address and get a full list of your elected officials. A few of those locations are listed on the one sheet. These are the names of people who represent you in various levels of government. There are some big names on there: president, VP, governor, attorney general. But I'm going to point you more inward. Think globally, act locally. Now listen carefully, because this is important. There is no elected official who will have more influence on your everyday life than your city council member and your school board trustee. I repeat, for emphasis, there is no elected official who will have more influence on your everyday life than your city council member and your school board trustee. There will be some county level folks, district attorney, sheriff, board of supervisors. They'll have some effects too. But most of the stuff of your everyday life, parking restrictions, traffic lights, trash collection routes, school bus routes, those are all controlled right here in your own city. And therefore, that's where you want to start speaking. So, that list of elected officials, start calling them, writing letters, lobbying, which is not a bad word. If you've got the time and flexibility, you can go into their office and talk to them face to face. Tell them what you think and why, and what you think they should do about it. It's remarkably effective, and sometimes you'll get an in-depth look at what's going on, why, and what you can do. Get a taste of what they do, what their roadblocks and challenges are, and what your options are. You can get in touch with elected officials, with either your elected officials or other people's elected officials, or even if you don't have elected officials at all, they all want to hear from you. You may have noticed that we have an election coming up. November 8th, 2022, the midterms. This is your chance to do what I did. Many of your electeds are currently candidates, which means they have a vested interest in making sure you like them and want to vote for them. If you do have a candidate you like, get involved with their campaign. Again, make calls, talk to voters, work in the office. This is a great way to get in on the ground floor, get a feel for what it takes to get elected. And if and when they win, they'll know you that much better. So it's even easier to reach out. I've given you a couple action items today. Vote, call your elected officials, get involved with campaigns, use your voice to participate in government. That's enough for this meeting. Next time though, running for office. Thank you very much. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Liz. I have put in the evaluation form. If everyone could please click on the link and fill it out so that Liz can improve on her speeches. Timer, could you please set a timer for 1 minute? Thank you, timer. Our next speaker will be Lindy. Shanti, could you please give the objective of her speech?
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmaster and honored guests. Today, Lindy's speech is about the evaluation and feedback speech. Number 1, the title is Make a Difference with Your Message. The introduction for Lindy is, you are a Toastmaster. You came here, at least in part, to learn how to deliver a well-crafted, impactful speech. In that process, have you discovered your message? Our speaker believes each of us has a core message to deliver. Finding, polishing, and sharing that message is one of the most powerful ways you can make a difference for yourself and others. With her speech entitled, Making a Difference with Your Message, please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Lindy McLean. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Lindy McLean, making a difference with your message. Making a difference with your message, Lindy McLean.
Few things have the power to change lives. A passionate, powerfully delivered message is one of those things. With that message, you can touch hearts, change minds, incite action. All that. You are a speaker. You would not have been attracted to Toastmasters if that were not the case. So do you know your message? No, I'm not talking about the message of your last speech. No, the message that you are here to deliver. The message you have the passion and the desire to deliver again and again and again. Madam Toastmaster, fellow messengers, and honored guests. I'm at my first Toastmasters meeting. 2 speakers, and they both shared the most amazing, personal, moving stories. I laugh, I cry, and I know I want to do that. I have a lot of bad habits to overcome. Here are just 3. I am way too serious. Yes, earnest, but boring. Why does my audience look so confused? Doesn't everyone free associate? I have to learn that not everyone's brain works the way mine does. I try to fit way too much into a speech, probably including this one. I want to be generous, so shouldn't I share everything I know? That's actually called brain bludgeoning, and it'll knock your audience out for sure. Lots of practice gives me more simplicity, more clarity, a little more humor, and more confidence. But I still don't have my message. I believe that each of us as speakers has a central core theme or themes that are the most powerful for magnetizing and moving people. That, let's call it your magnetic message. Those people on that world championship stage, they have found one of those core themes. In fact, that is how my journey of mining my magnetic message happens across the course of multiple approaches in the International Speech Contest. Where do you look for your message? Well, how about what I'm passionate about? Okay, good idea. And my strengths, the things I'm really good at. You can try that. Hi, I'm Lindy McLean. I was 4 years a Toastmaster, and then competing against 30,000 people, I placed third in the World Championship of Public Speaking. I am an expert in engaging people through online speaking. What do you think? Well, it might impress you, but it's not exactly, it doesn't cause you to trust me or believe that I actually understand you. No, strengths are not always the best way to start. In fact, you know that we engage and connect much faster through vulnerability and relatable struggle than we do through anything else. So in looking for your magnetic message, you must look into those areas where you don't know the answers, the areas where you continue to learn the same lesson over and over and over, those hard-won victories, the ones that you have to keep reinforcing again and again. In fact, when you hit on the edges of one of your magnetic messages, you will feel unsure, and that's a good sign. I've started leading high-level, intensive, intimate masterclasses for people who want to find, clarify, and craft their magnetic message. And the first thing I do is take their hand and fingerprints so I can give them a scientific hand analysis. Well, explaining that's a whole other talk, but suffice it to say that your hand and fingerprints reveal your greatest struggles as well as your greatest strengths. And from there, we dive in. I can hear you now. You sound like me. That sounds like a lot of work. In fact, I was fortunate that I did not know how much work would be involved when I began the International Speech Contest, although I probably would have done it anyway. So why would you do it? When it's that much work, why would you do it? A multitude of reasons. Let me give you, again, just 3. Wrestling with your message, finding the right one, delivering it the right way, again and again, that in itself will make you a much better speaker. That in itself is worth it. People out there, there are individuals in the world who are waiting for you. There really are no new messages in the world, but when you deliver your magnetic message your way, there are people who will hear it who have not heard it from other people. Not that same way. You will change lives. Those people are waiting for you. Delivering your magnetic message will make you whole. As women and heart-centered, service-oriented men, you know the old style of giving and giving and giving until there's nothing left of you simply does not work. We have to learn to take care of ourselves first if we're going to truly serve others. The only way to heal the world is to heal ourselves. And delivering your magnetic message is a part of what will make you whole. Better speaker, people waiting for you, make you whole. Yes, it's worth it. You are a speaker, and your strongest tool for making a difference in this world is your message, your magnetic message. Remember this as you are mining your message. In mining your magnetic message, your struggles hold the gold. I'll say that one more time because I want you to remember, in mining your magnetic message, your struggles hold the gold. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Lindy. Can I get 1 minute on the clock timer so that we can fill out our evaluations? And this time I will do a full minute. I got it wrong last time.
I'm going to put it on yellow at 30 seconds and then red at 1 minute.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Risa. Next, I'm going to hand it over to our table topics master, Sarah.
All right, so we have table topics, which is our chance to practice impromptu speaking. So for the first portion, I will be asking just a question, and your job, whoever I pick on, is to spend at least 1 minute responding to that question. Maybe you don't even respond to the question, that's okay. Just spend 1 minute at least talking and try your best to incorporate the word of the day, which is welcome. So my first question, I'll pick somebody, how about ME? My question is, if you suddenly struck it rich and no longer had to work to support yourself, what would you do with your life?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for that most welcoming question. What would I do with my life if I got a bunch of money and didn't have to work? The first thing that comes to mind is that I would make sure that my kids and other family members had everything that they needed to make their lives successful. And then I would probably look around for some kind of organization that helps people in my local area. Homelessness comes to mind. I've had a place in my heart for the homeless for a long time. And if I were able to use some of that money that came my way to help change something for the homeless here in this area, I think that would be the perfect thing to be doing. So thank you for that question, Madam Table Topics Master. Back to you.
Thank you, Emmy. That was a very solid answer. I think most of us would probably have the same approach. Look after our loved ones and think of a cause that we can contribute to. My second question actually is related to that, going off of what Emmy said. This one is from Mia. What is one cause that you believe in, and in what ways do you try to support it? Mia, are you there? If not, then I will pose this question to Risa. Risa, I can time you.
Thank you. What is one cause I believe in and how do I support it? One cause I believe in is living lightly on the earth and curbing my carbon footprint. And day to day, I try to curb my carbon footprint by consolidating errands. So I drive less, biking and walking instead of driving, reducing plane flights, which I consider the chocolate cake of my low carbon diet, and also taking Amtrak to the Bay Area versus driving. Even sometimes it's faster to take Amtrak. And I would welcome all of you to consider the ways that you can get active and reduce your carbon footprint in your day-to-day life. I know it's more appealing in cooler weather, but also try to eat a plant-based diet or at least low in animal products, because I know that farming and livestock raising has a huge carbon emissions. In fact, I think it's one of the most substantial portions of the US carbon emissions. So yeah, from my diet to the way I get around, and then also wearing clothes until they have holes, and shopping mostly at thrift stores, since the fashion industry has so much water pollution, you name it, human rights abuses, etc. So yeah, clothes, foods, and transportation. Have I reached? Oh, you're putting the chat, Sarah. I was like, this feels like a minute. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Risa. That was perfect. I'm really glad I asked you because I have the same, I'm working on the same thing as you. So all the tips that you gave are perfect for me. And I'm glad that you gave that to everybody too. I too am trying to not travel by plane as much unless I absolutely need to. And I love taking the train. So that was one thing that really stood out for me there. And all the other tips too. Totally agree. All right. So next question I will pose to Angela. What is one talent or skill that you have, and how do you utilize it to make a difference in your life and others?
Well, fellow Toastmasters and guests, one talent and skill that I have that would make a difference. I would think that what I have would be trying to understand people, empathy, is that I don't always have to be right in everything. I know that as a child and growing up, we always want to be right. We fight with our peers, our parents, and other people to kind of stick by our guns and say that, we're right, whether or not we are or not. So, as I grow and evolve, my point of view is just one point of view. There are so many people in this world living different lives, different culture, different background and upbringing. So their perspective is different. And their perspective may not be the same as mine, but to try to understand each other and each other's perspective and see where they arrive at the decisions and the ideas that they have that could be different, so that, we can embrace each other's differences and culture and learn from each other. So I think that as I'm grow, wiser, I hope that I would be able to, share that with other people and be more accepting of our differences, so that there won't be so many wars and clashing, but more understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. I think that's the very minimum, right? Is learn how to get along with other people and not add to the world's problems. I think that's already contributing. Great. Okay, so I want to shift it a little bit and do a story relay. So the way this works is I'll pick 3 people. One person will tell the beginning of the story, one person will tell the middle, and one person will finish it off. And so each person will get 45 seconds this time. So timer, please note 45 seconds. You can show the green. And I'll 35? Give the first 45. 45 seconds, yes. And I'll give the first person the first sentence. So for the first group, I'll pick Lindy, Karen, and Dean. And the sentence is, I tried to set my friends up on a date.
I tried to set my friends up on a date, but boy, was that a disaster. Oh my goodness. Well, I contacted my friend Deanna because I knew that she'd been telling me over and over again that she'd been feeling really lonely. And then I kept thinking, well, she would get along really well with Randy because he's lonely too. So I thought, well, why not, right? Get them two together, Deanna, Randy, Randy, Deanna. Why, they might live happily ever after, who knows, right? So I called up Deanna and I said, Deanna, guess what? Why don't you come to have coffee with me and a friend? I thought, well, if I coax them both out and then I just handily disappear, that will work.
So since I'm Deanna, I thought I would share with you what that felt like. I love going out to lunch with or coffee with Lindy. I always have a good time, but this friend, I just didn't know about this friend and whether there was any kind of a decent connection here or not. And I really wanted to talk to Lindy, but she just left and left me with this guy. And I'm like, what the? But you know what? It turned out he was really an interesting character. And so we got into a really in-depth discussion on taking pictures of the night sky, because I love to take Milky Way pictures. Now, how could you have figured that Lindy would have hooked me up with somebody that taught what I was trying to learn? It was absolutely amazing. Dean?
So I guess I'm supposed to be an astronomer in Kepler, and I'm supposed to be teaching astronomer. But for some reason, one of the reasons why, even though I'm always getting set up on date with some really nice lady who's very intelligent and very kind, my mouth always gets me into trouble. So one time, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm a big basketball fan. So every time I meet a really tall woman, rather than asking, are you like a model? Because usually taller women are model. I ask them, have you played basket? So I constantly shoot myself in my woods. That's why I'm still single and looking for a blind date. And it's not so much in my personality or my intelligence or my, it's because sometimes I said the dumbest thing and the wrong thing. So I hope one day by joining Toastmaster, I could be more discreet on saying things correctly. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. I loved it. That also sounds like a dream date, Karen. A really good idea. All right, so our next group, I will pick Lakshmi, Miko, and Abhijit. And then your first sentence, Lakshmi, is, my annoying coworker asked me for a ride to work.
It was one of those days when I was running late, which never happens. But then I had to take my co-worker's help, a very annoying lady who has a lot of dogs, and all the dogs sit on the car seat and shed a lot of hair. So I went and sat next to her. I was wearing a nice black dress. This lady kept on talking about her dogs and didn't allow me to talk about my dogs. That was very annoying. Of course, I wanted to praise my dogs, but that never happened. And you won't believe, when I reached the school, my nice black dress had turned to gray.
Miko?
Sorry, would you repeat the thing? My annoying coworker asked me to, what did you say?
I'll just continue what Lakshmi said.
Oh, sorry, I can't get what you said.
No worries, let me continue it and you can end it, okay? And that day,
I complete the sentence.
yeah, complete the story.
And I complete the story. Annoying coworker asked me to do something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. My annoying coworker. Sorry, I can't come up with a good
No worries.
situation of what to say.
No worries, Miko. I can continue it. Okay.
So
It's
blank,
okay.
and I'm sorry.
See if you can tag on to Abhijit. So listen to Abhijit. He's gonna do the second part of the story, and then you can make up whatever you want after him.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your kind.
That day, I had the meeting with the VPE, and I was going to do a presentation. And when I looked at my dress, it was all full of this white hair. I didn't know how to get rid of it. I went to the restroom trying to, but nothing worked. It felt like I just was playing with the dogs. We had to make a big sales speech. Now I was scared. I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, my friend came along, and she had a roller which could help me to get rid of those hair. As I started doing that, the VP came into the restroom and he was watching me when I was removing those hair. I was like, Miko, it's you.
Sorry, it's my turn. I still have no good idea what to deliver.
Can I continue?
Yeah,
And finish it up?
Lakshmi, go ahead. You can finish it.
Okay. So when the VP came and saw my clothes, he asked me, what happened? I talked to him and I told him that I had an annoying coworker, and that coworker had given me a lift. I mean, had picked me up. Sorry, that is British English. And I was in the car. The car was dirty. It was full of hair, and the hair got transferred to my shirt. The VP said, but what's wrong with dog hair? I said, I don't care, but the car was dirty and I had a meeting. So I had to look clean when I came and saw you. He said, yes, but you're not having the meeting with me, but you're having the meeting with another person. And he called the person in. And you know who that person was? Any guesses? The annoying co-worker.
Thank you, Lakshmi and Abhijit. And sorry, Miko, for the confusion. Next time you'll know. This was definitely a different format, so I should have made sure that everyone was on board.
Thank you.
So I think that's all we have time for today, but thank you everyone who participated. I wish I could have called on more people, as always. And I'll pass it back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sarah, for those awesome table topics. Next, I'm going to hand it over to our general evaluator, Helen.
Welcome to the evaluation portion of our meeting. We'll start out with hearing from the evaluators that we've asked to evaluate our two speakers. And then we'll hear reports from our functionaries, the timer, the counter, grammarian, word of the day. And at the end, I'll do a brief summary of the meeting. First, I'd like to call on the evaluator for Liz Spicer. Sujin Kim, please give us your evaluation of Liz's speech. Thank you.
Please. First, I would like to start with my favorite part of your speech, your confidence and energy. I can see that this is your biggest strength that quickly draw people into your speech. And I can assume that people never will get bored when you're speaking. Also, combined with your energy, you effectively use your gesture and vocal variety. in many places of your speech. And then you use it to emphasize key points and also bring attention to when needed. So I can see that you paid a lot, you put a lot of effort, provide various hand gestures and then vocabulary. For example, you said, you have the power, you have the power. You repeated that part. And also, I repeat for emphasis. And then you also repeated some of the sentences. So that kind of helped us to get engaged and then focus on what you are trying to deliver in your speech. So great job. The another one is the clarity of your speech. I can see that you pronounce very clearly each word, and also you have a good pacing. So I can follow easily what you are trying to say. Also, you effectively use the pauses between transitions. So overall, it was very clear what you are trying to deliver in your speech. And then I have some suggestions for your next speech so that you can work on to improve a little bit better. The first one is eye contact. So I can see that while you are very engaged in this speech and very confident, but sometimes I can see your eyes are looking at somewhere else. And then it kind of, at that point, sometimes you lose your audience because they're looking at somewhere else. So if you can try to continue your eye contact with the camera and audience, your speech will be more effective. And also in terms of the structure, you summarize with your action items. I think that's great, but I think it's good to introduce some of the key takeaways in the beginning of your speech. Then audience will be for audience, it's easier to expect what to come in your speech. So in general, you did a great job because this politics is a very tough topic. But also, as you mentioned, that it could be people think it's boring and then no use. But you make it very interesting and then engaging. So I'm looking forward to your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujin. Great job giving both areas for improvement and areas where you thought Liz did an outstanding job. Great evaluation. Thank you for that. Moving now to our second evaluator, Shanti is evaluating our guest speaker, Lindy McLean.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. A special thank you to Lindy for making a difference with your message speech. We really loved it. It resonated with each and every one. I could see how everyone has hooked up with your question. What a beautiful opening. Oh my goodness. Oh, do you have your message? Do you know your message? And then connecting in between another question, where do you find your message? It just grabbed their attention and be engaged throughout the speech. I could notice each and everyone's eyes and like nodding their head and smiling. Fantastic on that. And I observed how you intelligently used the stage space. Like one side you were talking about one point, like 3 habits, and then you moved on to the next side of the stage to mention about, oh, this is how you have to mine, like a coal mining, and then descriptive words that was explaining, oh, you have to do like this. I really enjoyed that way, how you intelligently used the stage space. And one area of like a challenge I would like to do is like for your speech, how did you mine your magnetic message that as a personal story, add some personal stories, and then in that personal story, when personal story comes, we will add vocal variety. So that's how it depicts both of the corners of the elements of public speaking. So that would be something to challenge yourself. The best thing I loved about your speech today is it was an eye-opening for everyone how to find your passion and how to do it as a call to action item with the 3 steps. One, speak again and again. Second, people are waiting for you, no time for you, and then delivering the message. You summarized twice and make sure like it's embedded in our mind. So overall, I would like to conclude, continue with your strength, opening with the interview question and then hopping on, adding another question to make them engaged, the audience. And then one challenge that I felt is to add 1 or 2 personal stories, which gives room for vocal variety. And then the best thing I loved about your speech is the call to action, how to mine our magnetic message. And I enjoyed totally your speech immensely and looking forward for the future speech. And a round of applause for our Lindy speech. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Shanti, for your evaluation of Lindy's speech. You included both things that you really liked about the speech, areas that really touched you, and you commented that the audience was also engaged. And you also had areas for Lindy to consider that she might want to strengthen in her speech. Good job on your evaluation. Moving now to our functionaries for tonight. First up is our timer. Risa, how did we do on our time for our speeches tonight?
I think we did really well. I'm going to paste the recap in the chat. I'm still learning this role, so I think everyone qualified, or I think everyone met their marks. The only person I'm not sure about is if the evaluators go over 3, they're fine, but they can't pass 330, right? So yeah, everyone met their marks. Good job.
Great. Thank you for taking on the role for the first time tonight as timer.
Yes, it was a good challenge.
Excellent. Next
You're
up.
welcome.
Welcome.
You're very welcome.
Next up is our grammarian and word of the day.
The word of the day was welcome, and we had Shanti, Helen, Emmy, Riza all used that word, and some interesting phrases or quotes would be by Liz, lobbying is not a bad word, and by Lindy, the magnetic message. And I thought these were 2 interesting quotes for the day.
Thank you so much, and great job being our grammarian and word of the day for tonight. Last is our Connor, Ramona.
Hello, sorry, my room is so dark. My face so black. And thank you so much for the wonderful meeting. And I think I lost a few people because the topic's so engaging and I stopped counting. So this is what I have now. I found Liz have 1, Angela have like 5, 6, and an Shanti has like 3 Risa has 2. Preetha has 2. Dean has 5. Most likely, yeah, like, and that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Did a great job tonight. Make it a very quick evaluation. Love the meeting. And thank you, Grace, for bringing Ada Lovelace to life for us this evening. If you don't know anything about her, be sure to look her up on Wikipedia. It's a very interesting story and a life that was cut way too short. Thank you for our speakers. They were fabulous and wonderful evaluations. I hope all of you got a few gems that you can use to help improve your speech the next time around. Love the table topics, Sarah. You jumped at the opportunity when we said we were having an open house. You said, I want to do table topics. And you did a great job, both with the prompted and the idea of doing the relay story, which really brought the meeting to life. Thank you very much. Love the meeting. Turning it back to you, Sarah, as president of our club.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It was lovely to see so many new faces, and actually a lot of the faces, even though they're guests, I recognize a lot of you. So it was nice to hear from you. And especially thank you, Lindy, for being our guest speaker tonight. Thank you so much for making the time for us. And I've heard your speeches, and they're always so delightful to listen to. I would like to get some feedback from our guests. If anybody wants to speak up on how they like the meeting, any suggestions? Lindy, go ahead.
I just have a question before you go into feedback, which is how do we speakers get the feedback people wrote to us in those forums? How does that work? Can you tell me?
We can send it to you.
Send it to me. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And really high energy meeting. I loved the first speaker and I thought, oh no, she's so good. I have to follow her. Way to go. And about politics too. Wow.
Thank you, Lindy. Anyone else? Emmy, I think I see your hand.
Yes, I have never seen the introduction of a or I don't know what you called it, spotlight on the person where she talked about Ada Lovelace. I really enjoyed that part. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, Emmy. Yeah, that's actually something that I think the founders of the club, including Abhijit, thought about having for the club. They wanted, since it's about women lead, we wanted to have a profile, not necessarily of a woman, but just a leader. And that would start our meetings.
Cool.
Thank you for that. Any other feedback from our guests? I think that's, oh, Angela.
Yeah, so I agree with Lindy. Great energy, two great speeches, and with politics, and also about getting our magnetic message out. A very great, relevant to our lives, and the evaluation was on point. So, that's why I come back every once in a while. It's another great meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. So good to see you. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Let's take a photo. Everybody look at your cameras and I'll take a screenshot. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. All right, let's take one more just for good measure. Okay. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody. That concludes our meeting. Just so you know, if anyone's joining us next week, we do have our evaluation contest. And then the following week, we're doing our humor contest, in-house contest. So all of our members are welcome to participate. I highly encourage it.
Yeah, I would like to say I did send out a message asking everyone to sign up on a survey form, and I have had zero signups. I did get a note, email from Sujin that she's interested in the evaluation. Lakshmi, maybe later, maybe for humor. I'll send it out again tonight, right after the meeting. So please, I need to create a list. So having it, if you fill out the survey, then I have everyone's names in an Excel format that's easy for us to work with.
Helen, can I plug your eval contest?
Yes, please do.
Evaluation contest is not to be missed. Guys, you want to sign up to be an evaluator in the contest because you don't have to do anything to prepare, but show up and listen and deliver value to the speaker. And the better you get at delivering value, the better. It really is a fun contest. and so much simpler than the international speech contest or any contest where you have to speak. So go for it.
Yes, exactly.
Do you
Thank
need a test speaker?
I possibly, I did reach out, but I haven't gotten a response yet. Are you interested?
Oh
Emmy?
yeah, I love to be a test speaker.
Okay, all right.
Great. Yes.
That's fabulous. Fabulous. I will get your
now
email.
if Lindy's going to talk about the evaluation contest, I have to talk about the humorous speech contest. Do you know how you really make a pitch that's good? I mean, have you ever been to a big presentation and they get up on stage and you're enthralled for a complete hour and then you go, it's over? What? More. The way speakers get to do that is they repeat a speech over and over and over, and they take feedback and it gets better and better and better. And that's what the humorous speech contest is. And it's easy to judge yourself. If people are laughing their asses off, you're winning. It's the most fun. So I have to tell you guys, you just have to go try it. There is like no pressure, and you get to practice a speech until you lose, which is absolutely fabulous, because you would be amazed at what you can do to a speech in several settings. You would be amazed at how it morphs and how the oddest comments from people maybe you don't even know hit the brain cell right and turns your message so it's magically perfect for the audience. But you won't know unless you enter.
That's correct. You won't know unless you try. And we're in a place where everyone can try, for sure. Exactly. And it could be about Olympic knitting. You never know.
You never can tell what might come out of a contest. It really is amazing.
I used to know someone who would rage knit.
Rage knit.
Rage knit. Like, you know how you rage clean something because you're just like, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm going to clean something. She rage knitted.
What did it look like when she was done?
A little messy, but still good. She was very good at what she did.
I love that.
Great.
Thank you. So yes, we have our evaluation contest and we have our humor contest coming up after that. So please, like Lindy and Karen said, it's a lot of fun to participate. More fun when you participate. So, and we also have our speaker for next week. So you just, like Lindy says, you just show up and give your evaluation.
Right, exactly. Fun. Excellent.
All right, that concludes our meeting. So thank
Is
you
it
all for
next
coming.
is it next week Wednesday or Tuesday?
Yes, Wednesday. Yes,
No,
always
next week,
Wednesday.
Tuesday. I thought the contest is on Tuesday.
No, if I said that, I misspoke. It is on Wednesday.
It's taking place at our normal meeting time.
Right.
So the next two Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that concludes our meeting. If the officers can stay back for a couple minutes, please. Otherwise, I'll see you all next week.
Thank you all.